Sarah, one of the curriculum consultants, and we're here today with Kathleen Cotter Clayton, who is...
I'm actually the vice president. I'm actually Dr. Cotter, who developed the RightStart curriculum. I am actually her daughter.
So you know this program inside and out.
I do.
And we're going to talk about the fractions, and Kathleen recently had an experience that makes her an exceptional person to learn fractions from. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, actually, this August, so August of 22, I actually spoke at the 16th International Conference for the Mathematics Education for the Future project. That was held, it's international obviously, it was held at Cambridge University in England, and we spoke at King's College.
So on that note, you can learn the method from RightStart Fractions with their tutoring series. And this used to have a little different format. Now it is in the tutoring series, which,
yes,
I would put these in the fixer product. So if you've got a student who maybe is doing RightStart, maybe is using something else, and they really just hit a wall with the fractions.
Yes.
They can spend extra time. So tell us how this works.
What we have with this is we have the lesson book. This is for you, the parent, and it's laid out so that you've got day by day. It tells you the items you're going to need, what you're going to need, and it tells you what to say, and it gives you the answers. So if you're not quite sure what the answer to something is, we're going to provide it for you. And then every day, you're going to play a card game. Now, these tutoring, we expect that these children are running behind where they should be. So if your child is learning fractions for the very first time, you don't want to use the tutoring. This is, like you said, a fix-it. So this is for a child who's probably a year, 2, 3, or more behind where they should be. We start out with the very basics with what is a fraction. Start out with the very simple stuff, and then we keep going with this, playing games as we go. And by the time we get done with it, we're actually, here's one. Oh, I just saw, here's fraction times a fraction. We've got multiplication in here, and we've even got, here's fractions and percents, but we even have stuff with how to divide fractions. I mean, why do you invert and multiply? That's just really weird. I have no idea why that works.
I don't remember.
This will tell you. I know, but this will tell you. That's what's really neat. And we do it in 42.5 days.
So let's say a parent is having a moment of, I don't remember how to divide fractions or multiply.
All you have to do is simply read.
It's right
because
there.
It'll tell me, use the fraction chart to simplify 6 9s. If necessary, remind them, the child, to find 6 and 9, and it'll go through and walk you through how to do it.
Okay.
So as long as you can read, you can teach your children.
So this is also that sweet spot of low teacher prep.
Yes.
High teacher interaction. It's
yes.
open and go, but you are interacting with your
right.
student.
And that's what's so critical, because if you've got a child who's missing pieces, you can't just put them in front of a video or say, here, go read this. They need to know. You need to be watching. Are they getting this? Are they not getting this? What's my problem? What's my challenge? And so you're going to need to be interactive with them. The card game becomes your worksheet. Now, we do have some worksheets here, but these worksheets are not as much review as they're more of a process. They're more of an exploration of something. So we're kind of working through different things. The review and the drill actually comes from the games, which I've got some here. I've got 3 different decks. Here we've got our basic number cards. These are the numbers 0 through 10. We've got our multiplication cards, so it's all 100 numbers on the multiplication chart. And then we got our fraction cards. And so the kids will be playing games. I always like to think of games are like hugs. You can't overhug your child. You can't overplay the games. And we all know what it's like if you have a child who doesn't get hugged, doesn't get touched. It's kind of the same thing with games. You have to have the games. The games give the children a reason to want to learn their fractions. Because I hate to rain your parade, but your kids really don't want to know fractions. I mean, they're like, who really cares? That's not what I'm on my agenda.
Well, they're hard.
Right.
If a student's finding them just really hard, they just kind of automatically close off.
Right. But if we're playing a game, and I'm going to learn something about my fractions so I can play a game with you, or I can play a game with Daddy, or I can play a game with Grandma, or beat my big brother, sign me up. And that's what we want the kids to do. So it gives them a reason to want to learn.
So it's giving them that fun factor.
Yes.
In the context of really solid fraction instruction.
Exactly.
So what did you just blow their minds in Cambridge when you said we're going to play games and kids are going to get it?
I think so. I think they were just flabbergasted. The other thing that really threw them is we have a different view of fractions. So we've got the fraction chart, and so we actually use a linear view. So here I've got 1 broken into 2 equal pieces. We call that half. 3 equal pieces, thirds. 4 equal pieces, fourths. Notice I didn't say quarters. I want to use fourths here because I've got a pattern. Half, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Instead of going half, third, quarter, fifth, sixth, it interrupts the flow. So I'm going to call these fourths, fifths, sixths, sevenths. Who uses sevenths? That's just really weird.
I don't see that in a recipe anywhere.
No, but if you don't have the sevenths, you can't see the pattern. So look at this. Look at this arch. See how it comes up and back over this side? Mm-hmm. And we've got that. Here's another one that's coming. Oh, no, I've lost it here. I can't quite see it from my perspective. It's coming up and over. So you've got these arches in there. You've got these patterns. You've got these ideas. Now we also will give you 2 of them. Here's instructions, but you won't need those because you'll have the book. But these are pieces. So go ahead and pull out a half for me. They're kind of pre-cut a little bit.
And that's a sturdy plastic.
Yes, this is a nice sturdy plastic. So let's just say, looking at this here, if I've got 1/2, how many fourths equal a half?
Oh, that's super clear.
And what's the answer?
2.
2 fourths. How many sixths equal a half?
3.
How many eighths?
4.
How many tenths?
10.
How many
5.
5.
Keep that.
Keep that. So how many twelfths equal a half?
Oh.
Okay, let's go back and
One
look at the
more.
pattern. Look at the pattern.
Oh.
So we've got 2 fourths, 3 sixths, 4 eighths, 5 tenths, 6 twelfths,
Oh.
7
Duh.
14ths. Right.
Oh.
Isn't that cool?
I wasn't seeing it for a second.
Yeah. But that's okay because so often with fractions, we're just like, oh, just memorize it. We don't look for the patterns. But the pattern is right there. It's so obvious.
I can't believe it stumped me. Yeah. And then it becomes obvious and you're just like, I can't believe I didn't see that.
But isn't that neat?
It's super neat.
So let me ask you, I'm going to kind of switch it up a little bit and say, how many fourths were in a half? You said there was?
2 fourths.
Okay. How many eighths are in a half?
4 eighths.
How many sevenths are in a half?
Less than 4. 3.5
3.5 sevenths.
Okay.
That was easy.
Yes.
We don't normally say 3.5 sevenths, but that's an accurate
could.
answer. Yeah. Isn't that cool?
But I have had to find the middle of like 7 inches, and you go to
yeah.
3.5.
Yeah,
so,
3.5. Yeah. So we use a linear view with the pieces to help the children work their way through it. Okay, so I'm going to pull a lesson out here. I'm actually going to look at day 6. Day 6, we're making 1/2. Basically, this lesson right here is what we just did.
What you just showed.
Here we're talking about half of a liquid of volume, and then we're playing a game called 1/2. That's it. That's all you've done for the day.
So the lesson is going to use these.
Right? We got a little bit of a conversation down here using what half of a liquid or an amount, and then we're playing a game.
And the game is the cards.
And the game is the cards.
That's
so
does
instead
not
of a
sound hard.
worksheet, right?
So let's say you've got a middle schooler, all of a sudden the reality of high school being around the corner has struck, and they've struggled with fractions, but they've somehow gotten by. And you don't have 2 months. Do you feel like you could do 2 lessons in a day if you had to? Or
Absolutely.
really, that's not going to be
Absolutely.
too...
It depends upon the child.
Okay.
If you've got a child who's like, oh, I've used all my power to get through one, you're probably not going to want to do more. But if you have maybe a child who will do it in the morning right after breakfast, and then before dinner, or maybe after dinner, get them well fed, get them a bowl of ice cream, and then go do some more, and then play the games with dad or go play the games with grandma, they've got that. They get enough power to do that. And one thing I always want, people always ask me, well, I'm not quite sure how to read these, these games. I don't know how to do this. I kind of don't care what the rules are. I'm more interested that your kid's having the time with the fractions. So if you end up changing the rules so that you have your own family rules, I'm fine with that.
It's okay.
The point is fractions. The point is not you have to play it an exact way.
Okay. What if mom has to go then help another child, and dad's busy and siblings are busy and there's nobody to play the games with? What
I've
can a
actually
kid
played
do?
the games right hand versus left hand.
How does that work? How would
Well,
you do that?
let's say remember the game of war? You lay down 2 cards, whoever has the higher one takes it.
Okay.
So let's say I'm laying down 1/2 and 1/4, which is more.
Okay.
And if you're not sure, you check your chart. So which would be more, 1/2 or 1/4?
1/2, 1/4. Okay, 1/2 is bigger.
Okay, so this is the 1/2. So right hand takes it.
I did know that one without
Yeah.
looking. You need the lesson to introduce, to teach the content.
Yes.
And then you need the games to reinforce.
practice it. Yes.
Practice, master.
Yes.
Those skills.
Yep.
And you need the pieces. So
Yes.
it's written to
It's
all
all,
work
and we've got
together.
everything here for what you need. Yes.
It's very tidy.
Yes.
And nothing here is consumable beyond those worksheets, which there were minimal worksheets, right?
There's 17 worksheets in here, and that's it. So yes, you can just get, if you've got a bunch of kids that need to go through this, just pick up some extra worksheets.
That's brilliant. I like a good fixer product.
Yes.
And
Well, it's
yeah.
nice. It's done in 42 and a half days, and you're done.
Had to throw that
Yeah,
fraction in the title.
have to put that in there. Yes.
I like it. Thank
Yes.
you so much for joining us, Kathleen.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.